By the end of today's video, I'm going to give you three resources I personally use to do research when I'm looking for getting the best business funding for my clients. Let's get straight to it. It's going to be helpful. If you want to do your business funding for yourself, this is going to be a good one. So, number one, just straight to it, is a bank branch locator. You may have heard of it, maybe you haven't heard of it, but bank branch locator basically lets you know all banks in all 50 states. It's just a good way to do research. If you have a business funding company or if you don't have a business funding company, no matter what, right? It's more beneficial if you do because you could see banks that are in states and cities where your client lives, right? I've had clients be like, I don't even know how you knew, this bank was around me. And it's because bank branch locator, right? So you see here, you can go by state. You can scroll down here. So let's say we live I have a lot of clients in Florida. Where's Florida? Florida. Let's say we live in Florida, right? And then let's say we live in Coral Gables. Let's say we live in Miami. It's gonna be bigger. So, we just narrow down. We come down here. Obviously, Bank of America, that's a national bank. So we don't need to do too much research on that. But, bank branch locator is just dope because it just shows you all the banks everywhere. And then obviously Chase Bank. So bank branch locator is good for knowing where they're located, right? So if you're watching me, it's likely that you deal with credit repair if you're a business owner or funding. So this is a good resource to use once you figure out where your client's located, obviously, right? So they got a Citizens Bank as well. I got a couple BRMs over there. And yeah, you could just do your research here, right? No matter where you live. So you can enter a zip code up here, town, city. You can go by address, you can go by bank if you want to go by bank name, but typically what you're gonna do, you're gonna search your area or your client's area and do research on it over there, right? So bank branch locator, make sure y'all come here, you play around with it. You see they got a lot of the banks up here too. You see Chase Bank, Wells Fargo. You see what's it called? Regions Bank, TD. You see a Fifth Third over there. Fifth Third's a one people sleep on. You see a bunch of the banks here too, right? MNT. So just do research. Bank branch locator. It's a good one. It's good for doing good research. So iBankNet is number two. So iBankNet is what I would call it's like a nosy resource because it just gives information on the numbers as far as what the bank is able to like lend out, like their financials. So we just click on Wells Fargo right here. You can just do you see that they're giving a lot of information on them, right? As far as their financial reports, and that can kind of give you an insight in terms of like what they could potentially be willing to lend out. I wouldn't Me personally, I wouldn't spend too much time looking over here because you if as long as your credit report is set up right and everything, you're gonna be good. But I know everything that might be what I'm looking at. It, for y'all, maybe that's what gets y'all off in terms of like you could be here all day just looking at the research and all that. But I say that to say iBankNet is more of like a nosy resource. So you see balance sheet over there. So it's just like looking at the numbers. So those of y'all that let's say you trade stocks, looking at earnings reports and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that. So just kind of look at iBankNet in terms of that aspect. And then a third one I've never publicly talked about this. I've figured out about it more recently is Bank Locally. So this one is kind of like Bank Branch Locator again. So you can go by bank name, you can go by near wherever, and then 10 miles. So let's just say near Miami, Florida, right? You can get super, super specific. You can go to Design District in Miami or whatever you want to do, right? Let's say we're within 10 miles of Miami. So we search. Okay, now we found Pacific National Bank. You see, you got the maps and everything here. So bank locally is dope. You see Miami Design District right there. Bank locally is dope because, it just gives you more insight. So I've more recently been using this one for research. But I say that to say if y'all use all of these in combination, I think it'll definitely be powerful as far as doing your research. If you're doing your funding for yourself, or if you're doing your funding for your clients. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this video was helpful. I just wanted to do a quick resource share. And if you are a small business owner, if you're a business owner, you're looking for funding, let's say your credit report is set up to where it's supposed to be. We all know that it's not just about the score. You know, you got to have good amount of primary trade lines and just showing that you are able to manage what, you know, the banks are going to lend you, because obviously if you have an 800 credit score, but you got a thin profile, you haven't shown that you could be trusted, basically. So if you have a good setup, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. If you want us to do the research for you, if you want us to do the staging of the report for you, because obviously the research, bank branch locator, iBankNet, bank locally, that's only part of the equation. Because obviously you got to understand how to structure the profile. You got to understand high risk industries, low risk industries, and you know, things like that. So if you're looking to get that business funding through us, we could definitely help you if you qualify. So go ahead and book a call below if you qualify. With that being said, if not, you know, just keep watching the videos and hopefully this one helped. Y'all have a blessed one.